Not long ago, Melania Trump launched an NFT. Why not? Every rich person is doing it. It was expected to bring in about $170,000, maybe a little bit more, maybe as much as $250,000. And for that, what do you get? Well, the artwork is called Melania's Vision, and we were told it embodies Melania Trump's cobalt blue eyes, providing the collector with an amulet to inspire. And that amulet comes in the form of, I'm assuming, a JPEG of this. So you can see these eyes. It's not bad. If I sketched that on my lunch break, I'd be relatively proud of myself, I think. That said, it's been a bit. It went on sale, and you know what? There were some bids. The opening bid was the equivalent of $250,000 in Sol tokens. So that is a digital currency on, I believe it's called the Solana platform. Anyway, a portion of the proceeds were said to, they were going to be used to provide foster care children with access to computer science and technology education. In the end, it did go for 1,800 Sol, which is worth about $170,000 at that time. It's now 200,000, and then tomorrow it'll be worth $5, and then $1 million the next day. You never know, it's fun. But here's the thing about it. That might seem like mission accomplished. It sold for about what we thought it would, maybe not quite as much. But here's the thing, according to blockchain records reviewed by Motherboard, the person who bought the NFT collection appears to be Melania Trump, or at least whoever set up the auction for her. The winner of Melania Trump's NFT got the money from none other than the creator of the NFT itself, and an address linked to the NFT creator got the money back. So, it's an NFT, it's a blockchain thing, so I don't even know if you can know more than that about this. But David, that seems weird.
Look, I'm talking. This is the first time I've ever talked about NFTs. I think I've read about them, but so the whole concept to me sounds really strange. I mean, the idea that you get an original JPEG, an original digital copy of some piece of artwork or some film or video, photograph, whatever. Fine. I guess if people want to have the original on their computer or whatever, good for them. But who among us hasn't voted for ourselves in an online poll or something where our own credibility is in the public domain? And so, okay, Melania feels like the bids are not high enough. She wants to make sure that the bid matches what the asking price was. If that makes her feel better about herself and her status in life, whatever. Maybe you can explain the NFT and also the whole blockchain thing to me as well, because I'm still stuck.
Yeah, I could try. Yeah, no, I like so either she did it herself knowing, okay, I just want it to be this much and I'll buy it or whatever. Or maybe she thought, okay, I'll pump up the bids and then someone will outbid me. Oops, maybe not. I love the idea that everybody's just voting for themselves. Earlier in the show on our Twitch poll, Louis Gohmert's like, no, I'm the dumbest. He's voting for himself, maybe not. But anyway, so yes, the idea is that it is a system for tracking and verifying the ownership of digital goods. So primarily, the way it's analogized is that you are not buying the image. I mean, you are, but that's freely available. It's literally in my production document right now. You're buying the digital receipt to it. I would go one step further and say, you're not buying that either. What you're buying is a speculative financial instrument purely available in digital form that needlessly has an image attached to it that nobody would want. I mean, after all, can we show the image one more time? Can we put that up? The Melania's Vision or whatever, those eyes. So take a look at this. Do you want it? Would you give me $5 for it? If I had a 16 by 20 that I printed out, would you hand me a $5 bill for it? Would anyone?
I mean, I wouldn't, but then again, I guess the world that I sort of come from, there were people who were confused when I was a kid and I was really into baseball cards. And I always wanted the original Honus Wagner baseball card that would be worth, $500,000. Well, I got, a copy of it and I could put the copy of it and it looked exactly the same on my wall or in my album. But one of them actually had a lot of value. The other one just had maybe some aesthetic value. So I guess I sort of get it. But again, there's something a little bit more wholesome and understandable about kids and trading cards. We're talking now about grown-ups and blockchain and grown-ups wanting to own the speculative rights to digital property. Why? Just so they can say they have it? I don't get it.
Well, so that they can make money, and some will. I mean, and there's so many different layers to the scam. So there's There's pump and dump. There's washing, where they do lots of trades back and forth because some of the platforms artificially, like in the algorithm, generate hype for certain properties based on how many times have been traded back and forth. So they just game that system by trading it back and forth between two people. It's just a lot of issues like that. And I do like your baseball card analogy though, because I think for some people, it's actually very similar to baseball cards. I mean, with the difference being that with baseball card, you at least have a baseball card. Right. It is a desperation. When I was a kid and I would buy some Spawn comics, I hoped it would rapidly rise in value. Why? Because I had no other means to getting money. I was desperate, so that's what I did. And I just hoped it would go up for no reason that I could really define. I feel like there's actually quite a bit of that in NFTs.
Right, but you were a kid and you're an aficionado of comics, right? These are grown-ups who are not exactly, I don't know, experts on Melania's eyes or eyes in general. I mean, when you describe it, it makes me think about Elizabeth Warren and her plan to try to, and Bernie Sanders wanting to put a tax on all Wall Street transactions, because you are essentially people trading pieces of paper. The paper itself is just a piece of paper, but you attach some meaning to it, and who can trade the pieces of paper the most, the fastest or the best, they make the most money. Well, that doesn't do anything for our economy. That doesn't help the greater good. So maybe while we're talking about putting taxes on Wall Street, which we should, let's put some taxes on NFTs, and people who want to trade pieces of paper or digital images, fine, do it to your heart's content. But you're not a child. These are not baseball cards or comics. You're a grown up, so pay up.
Yeah, I'd rather have the comics, honestly, despite being a grown up. By the way, you just raised an interesting possibility. We've got this thing of Melania's eyes that obviously nobody watching this would want. What if we did one of Bernie's vision, just a close up of Bernie's like red old eyes? I would pay $100,000.
Or the photograph of Bernie, like the iconic photograph with with him like at the inauguration, looking like this. I could see that could be a great fundraiser, and he already made it something a fundraiser, right? With the gloves. Sure, whoever would want to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars having the original digital copy of that photograph by whoever was taken, sure, maybe that would raise a lot of money, and maybe that's money that could go to help charity or whatever it is.
Totally.
But it's still a little bit weird.
Yeah, and by the way, as we say every time, and I hope that this will become baked into the conversation, I am not saying that with NFTs or blockchain, there is not any legitimate use for the underlying technology. I am saying that it is being used largely in a scammy fashion. It is being used for stuff that has nothing to do with, like if there's actual artists who are using NFTs like to sell their real art, that people, that's a great use of it, but not Melania's vision. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.